Today we're looking at a cow that I completely missed. I let her out of the crush and she still had an incredibly big problem. We're also routine trimming a bunch of cows, and we're looking at the evolution of the farm that we're on. You're watching the Hoof GP, and a video that I'm glad I'm making because it means we didn't miss the problem in the finish up.
And I won't let it rush when I see you dance, and the moment comes when I fall and time goes slow. I fall into you.
Every morning's the same. I struggle to get out of bed. I don't know about you guys, but I really struggle. Morning.
Good morning. Did you forget how to open the door there, yeah?
No,
They're sheep in the road. See, I'm just at the gate. I reckon we'll try and get them. Big laugh.
this is going to go well.
Oh,
I'm going to have to, aren't we? They get run over.
I'm buzzing.
Buzzing.
I think yeah, I'm quite good buzz for them. I'll get you going.
We have a name for sheep round here. Field lice or woolly vermin. Right, here's the plan of action.
What's that?
You're going to sneak through the hole in the fence.
There's a hole in the fence.
In the hedge. You are going to go that way. And they'll jump through the fence so we don't need to do anything. Okay?
They heard your plan of action.
I love it when a plan comes together.
That was anticlimactic.
That was anticlimactic.
I feel like I said that clear.
You've just totally ruined it though by doing that.
Yeah.
Anywho, I just said that every morning starts the same. Apparently it doesn't. Just discussing Campbell trying to drive off school. Yeah. How'd that go yesterday?
I was sick yesterday.
Did you not feel good?
Yeah. Forced me.
Mum forced you?
Yes.
Oh God, are you okay?
Yeah, she threw me through the window to school.
She what?
She threw me through the window to school.
Oh,
Where's all your marks then?
Right here.
true. He's not wrong, there is a mark
I
there.
think that's the spot. You keep picking
Yeah,
up.
more.
Ash, what's going on with the hair this morning? Whoa. Still look good. Steve has been to the vet and he's got some kind of weird growthy type thing on his tummy. He's confused because he thinks his breakfast should be there. But it's not, is it, pal? Hello, Mia. Hello. Come here. Stay. Good boy. Oh! So today we're headed to a farm that's about 30 miles from our home here in southwest Scotland to a slightly different part of Dumfries and Galloway that we call the Stewartry. It's not just us that calls it that, everybody calls it the Stewartry. It's quite interesting actually. We've been going to so many farms now for so long that we see a real evolution of those farms and the people on it, and this one is definitely falling into that category. It has grown exponentially over the past few years to now be bigger and better than ever. No, we're not talking factory farming at all, but it has grown a lot, as dairy farms need to do to survive in today's climate. Unfortunately, what seems to be happening is it's either get big or get out, which is really sad to see so many family farms right across the UK and probably beyond dry up and disappear. I used to freeze brand cows, as I've told you many times before, and when I visited the northeastern coast of Scotland, there were 81 farms that were dairy farms. Well, actually it was my stepfather, but there were 81 farms there milking cows, and when I visited there were 11, and now I think there are about 4. So in the space of about 25 years, we've gone from about 81 farms down to about 4. Which is crazy. I guess, unfortunately, it's the way of the world. But to be honest, I kind of sort of wish it wasn't. The thing is, human nature is to strive and move forward, and that's the same for every business. Meaning that the creameries and the people who actually devour the end product, milk, have a thirst and a want for it, but at the same time, they want it as cheaply as possible, which drives the streamlining of businesses to be more economical, meaning that the smaller farms can sometimes struggle to keep up. Which again, I absolutely hate, because we were one of those smaller farms at one point. In fact, Kerskowen, that we're now renovating to be cottages, was also one of those smaller farms, but it's the way of the world. And this farm is actually looking after the future of the family. The boys are coming through, which is really important to try and safeguard their future and the future of the dairy industry. They're working as hard as they possibly can to provide an amazing nutritional product, which is in my coffee and you guys consume every single day of the year. But the reality is, it's getting harder and harder for even them to do it, which is why these cows need to walk fantastically well so that they can be as economical and as productive as possible, which is where we step in and hopefully keep them walking as well as possible. It is a good coffee.
There's things in life you simply need to know, but sun and rain and trust and letting go. It takes a bit of suffering, sleepless nights and wandering, before you make it safely to the end, the end, the end. And if you ever wonder, there is nothing wrong with a little thunder. There's things in life you simply need to know, about sun and rain and trust and letting go.
Cool. So we are here, about 40 minutes to get here probably, and we usually have between 45 and 75 cows, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of hoping it's closer to 45 today. We do have a bit of a problem. We still haven't changed the bearings on the wheels, so this thing is an absolute nightmare to move. I have ordered them though. One, two, three. It doesn't help that it's so slippery out here as well. Do you know what else is slippery? The wood outside my house, isn't it, Graham? Cut to that.
Still got a stair side.
Say it again.
Still got a stair side.
Again. Again. Do you like that, do you?
Yeah.
Did it take you back?
I mean, say to you there, you guys need to have a look at. I didn't care, I forgot what I was going to say. No, I remember now. I remember.
Devastation on your face.
I remember now. You were, oh, cooked it.
No, what?
You were doing. No, I'm going to need it. You're like this.
Don't ever do that again. No, I do not care.
You were doing.
No, I know you were doing that so we can cut to me. Don't ever do that again.
I'll not be in the video, sorry.
That will definitely be in the video. Anyway, back to setting up. So when we first started coming to this farm a few years ago, we did have a problem with lameness. It's much, much better now. It's actually really, really good now. And the transformation this farm's undergone is nothing short of massive for both the cows and the people who work here. And it's really good to see. This is their old parlour, and they only milked here about 3 or 4 years ago. It has been absolutely ripped to bits because a lot of it has been sold off as spare parts to other places. But just look at the difference between this and this. The difference is huge. The light is better, the cows go through the parlour quicker, it's better for the cows because it's more comfortable, and it's much faster for everybody involved. So it really streamlines the business and keeps the future of this dairy farm as secure as possible, hopefully. Right, now we're here, we might as well trim some cows. So we move them out of their beds and then into this kind of holding pen here and work out of here.
Come on, supper.
And just like that, we do begin. This is what routine trimming looks like.
Let's run away. All I need is you, now and always. You and me.
Nice and easy breezy for me, but you can hear all the commotion in the background. The cows are not playing ball today at all. Sometimes you just seem to get days like that. I don't know whether it's a change in the weather or what, but sometimes they just don't play ball.
Together, baby, we don't gotta stay. Let's lose our minds.
Lovely. It's literally a pleasure trimming cows' feet that look like this. So easy, but yet genuinely worthwhile. Just keeps their feet in perfect condition. Right, front feet. In fact, this one doesn't even need the grinder. It just needs the interdigital space, which is the place between the cow's feet, modelled out. You can see there's a scratch in this knife. With every swipe of it, you can see that white scratch coming down through a foot. All that means for me is that the work is harder. This knife is now blunt. This one's better. Lovely. Turns out we're closer to the 70 mark than the 40, so best get moving. Craig's foot is really similar to my one, but he decides to use the grinder to do the first model out and then deepen it with the knife. Doesn't really make any difference, as long as the job is correct in the end.
We could run away.
Just like that, I'm too hot already. I think I need to work on my fitness levels.
You and me together, baby, we don't gotta stay. We don't have to stay. Let's lose our minds. We could go crazy and leave it all behind.
During that little montage, we trimmed 32 cows. And I distinctly remember when I had this crush here, coming home one day after about 3 years of trimming cows' feet and being utterly amazed at Ashley, walking through the door and me shouting, "You'll never believe how many cows I've trimmed today." We've done 33. I think it's taken us less than an hour and a half to do those 33 cows. That's a mixture of having a better crush, better facilities, Craig helping us, Graham getting the cows in, and the cows' feet being much better than they were when I first started. Not at this farm, I'm not talking about this farm, but a smaller farm years ago. It's amazing the difference a few years can make, although it feels like a lot more than a few. Right, this cow does have a little bit more to do though than what you've seen so far. She's a little bit overgrown on here, she's twisted up in here, and all of this raggedy hoof horn needs to come away. The dramatic trims and transformations that we do on this channel are all very well and good, but the cow in the crush right now doesn't really care about her herd mates. She only cares that that outer claw is overgrown, and she cares that it hurts her as a result. So us trimming back this overgrowth may not seem dramatic, but for the cow who owns this hoof, the improvement to her quality of life will be immense. So although there's a bit more to do on this cow's foot, it still is a routine trim. If there was a problem, we would call it a therapeutic trim. Right, that is not deliberate. Is there a problem here? Is that an ulcer? So this cow didn't look lame when she came in at the crush. You're gonna call BS on that, aren't you guys, for watching this and me having a problem? Maybe it's just gonna go away to nothing actually. Definitely didn't notice her being lame on the way into the crush. And hopefully this will just come away to nothing. That beeping in the background, by the way, is a gate moving up behind the cows in the collecting yard. It lets the cows know that the gate's coming so that they can move their bums. Oh, that's why she's not lame. Look, it's disappearing. If that had been a proper lameness issue, I genuinely worry that you think I set silly things like that up. But we just trim them and film them as they come sometimes. That's an old ulcer, so she's been lame at some point. We've trimmed her before. I'm actually just going to reduce the height here. Looking from this angle, you can see this portion of her heel is still too high, so that will be taking more weight than this part. So with the grinder, we'll just reduce this entire heel height. And now when you look from the right hand side, you can see that both heels should be completely level. Just like that. Lovely. Right, just model out this inner claw. And that foot is done. Next one. Because her back left foot had a problem, I'm now starting to worry that this back right foot has a similar problem. But as the material starts to be shed away with the grinder, it appears that this one is fine after all. But obviously we're still going to model it out, just to make sure that nothing ever transpires here either. This, by the way, is just the pigmentation of her foot. It's just colour. You get black hoof horn and you get white hoof horn, and that is bluey black. Just reduce that, or not reduce it, model it out. Lovely. That one's a little more extreme. That's raggedy, that, isn't it? Really not a nice looking foot, and there's a really big curve to it. Just look at the difference in height. This one here is almost an inch higher, meaning this is taking the vast majority of the weight. So despite this being really overgrown, I'm fairly sure and confident that we can get it back looking like a regular foot. I start stripping away the outer layers of this inner claw, and you can see huge cracks running down the entire length of her foot. As shavings are removed from the foot, you can see a good foot starting to form. I wouldn't normally trim away this axial wall, but she has a massive ridge in between her feet, so I trim that back using the grinder as well, before finally doing some minor corrections and getting it really close to where we need it to be. It's close, but it's not quite close enough. You can see there's an old ulcer here as well. This cow has clearly been through the wars at some point. The reason this was so overgrown, by the way, is because cows are trimmed on this farm according to the state of their lactation, or the point in their lactation. A lactation is how long they milk for. In other words, how long they lactate for, produce milk. Usually cows are trimmed early on in their lactation, around 80 to 90 days after they've calved, and then again before they dry off. The whole system falls down sometimes when cows don't get back in calf as quickly as they should and end up going for longer than they should have done without being trimmed. This old ulcer site has also faded away to nothing. Now that's not a perfect foot, but it is a lot prettier than it was a few minutes ago. Right, what have we got around here? Surprise, surprise, it's almost a mirror image of her front right foot. So we're going to do exactly the same on this foot as we did on that foot. As we start the trim off, it is almost a carbon copy of her front right foot. I say it all the time, but feet really do mirror each other. And as we're getting through this trim, you can start to see the bruising in the same area that old ulcer site was in her front right foot. Again, I trimmed down the axial wall, which I wouldn't normally do, but she also has a ridge on this foot. Before getting this model out as deep as we possibly can to alleviate this site and hope that the problem doesn't come back. Just get rid of all these little bits of scracky. Scracky, is that a word? Scracky? Is that a word?
I would say straggly.
Straggly.
You said it wrong.
Fair enough. Just get that a little bit deeper. All this muck, it doesn't look fantastic though, it's muck here, but it's just muck. You know, cleaning it off would make it look prettier, but it would only look prettier for the video. And then she'll step out of this crush, and it'll be dirty again. Oh, you're alright. That's not hurting her, she's just getting sick of being in the crush, I think. Just get rid of this little crack. Look, that is really tough horn. Luckily, I've been working at the gym, and I'm basically an absolute unit.
I think you're funny. I don't think he'd feel funny. Do you think
He's an absolute unit. You can have an early finish if you want, Craig. Lovely. And actually, that's perfect timing for a coffee. Another happy customer. Well, she wasn't very happy when she was in the crush because they never are. Right, coffee time. Well, buddy, thank you, Craig. Not you too, because Liam can't help us. Pretend there's no cameraman though. Right. Yeah.
See earlier on when you were saying about that, thank you, about that gate bringing the coos up, he goes up and moves the coos along. Did you mean to do that? Because he never left after it. And I thought, I'm like, either he just said move the land, I went move the land. Did you mean that?
You know that's how you say move, don't you?
I just like move. Move the land. I feel like you held it.
Replay that. So they can move their bums. I just said moved.
I'm like, it's kind of funny, and then I'm like, he's not left though.
Because it wasn't a joke.
I feel like you added another O and you kind of got down, move the land.
No! When there's an O and the E, it makes it sound like move. That's how that works.
Aye. You said...
Anyway, moving on.
Did you actually mean that?
No, I actually didn't mean that. Ignoring him for a second, I do have something quite important to talk about, so feel free to skip ahead if this isn't your bag, but I just wanted to say the goodness this channel has brought into my life is infinite, it's huge. And I get a lot of messages and comments and actual letters and video messages and emails and all sorts about people who are going through bad things in their life, who are still absolute soldiers. Actually, the other day, some amazing woman messaged me about her partner, Mr. Munn. Yep, I'm talking about you. But I wanted to say, I genuinely believe that everybody in life has a story. It may not be an incredible story, but you have a story. And if you haven't got one, you're going to get one. And maybe what you're going through right now, if it's terrible, is part of your story. And you can make it a story of resilience. But I think it's so important to try and extract the goodness from what is happening right now in your life. The people around you that care about you, the fact that you can watch this video, the fact that you can do certain things that others maybe can't. I really wish there was more I could do for you, for anybody in a position like that. But I learned a thing fairly recently, and I may have said it before, but you need to be nostalgic about today. If you were 80 or 90 or 100 and you were looking back at yourself today, I'm 42, there are little things wrong with everybody's lives all the time. But when you're 80 and you're looking back at being 40, you don't see that. You just see the big picture. You see the fact that you can do these things that maybe now you can't, that you're 80. And you see it through these rose-tinted glasses. Well, you're 40 today, or you're 50 today, or you're 60 today. So try and be nostalgic about today. That probably makes no sense whatsoever. But I started doing that a couple of months ago, and it's really woken me up. I struggle mentally. If you've read the book, you know all about that. But I just look at the bigger picture when I'm having a terrible day and I think, wait a minute, try and be nostalgic about now. I don't want to go on and on, but keep reaching out, keep sending me messages, keep sending me emails, and I will always try and reply, because a lot of you are going through some really shit times, let's be honest. And if I can say anything that can bring a wee smile to your face, then I will. Right, sorry about that. Back to the trimming. This coffee's good.
You could, like.
Why, what were you doing? In Craig's head, I imagine what he thinks there's an echo.
I was like, just
playing with
You got a water pistol, have you?
playing my water pistol, yeah.
Come on, do your tricks then. Let's see your tricks. Come on.
Yeah, agree. Got that up there, I mean, it goes through there.
I'm setting this up here and I've got yeah.
Can you do that, Dad? See what I was saying about things could be worse. You could have the mind of a 3-year-old, like some other people have. Can you do that, Dad? Anyway, moving on. We still have about 40 cows to trim, so we're going to crack on and do as many of them as we possibly can in as short a time as possible, without compromising cows' feet health. But be assured, this video is probably just about to come to an abrupt this video is probably just about to come to an abrupt cut, and we will have a cow with a sore foot. Because out of all that lot, there's bound to be a problem or two.
Hey, now look into my eyes. You can use them as a mirror, baby. You're my ticket to paradise. Hey, now everything's alright. We've been longing for each other, and it feels like I'm on cloud 9.
Turns out I was wrong, by the way, doesn't it? It was 2 time lapses and not a second lane foot. But there is one in there because cow 79 is not enjoying herself very much. By the way, Easy Fix do not sponsor us anymore. They decided that we weren't good enough for them and they didn't want to give me any money again, which upset me a lot. What actually happened was Easy Fix came back to me, as they do every year, and we were going to do another sponsorship, and I decided that I didn't feel I was doing enough for them. So we are no longer sponsored by Easy Fix, which is why the Easy Fix logo and everything isn't at the start of the videos. Easy Fix are a tremendous company, a fantastic company. If you're a farmer or anybody in agriculture or in the equine industry, then there is something for from Easy Fix to help you make your animals more comfortable. I can't say enough about Easy Fix. They are fantastic. I just felt I didn't want to just sponsor the channel just for the sake of it, the name being there and taking some money. So at some point in the future, we may work with them again. At some point, we may not work with them again. What is a certainty is we need to get these cows into that top pen because we need to get them finished. Come on, girls, go! Come on! Come on, girls, go! Down, turn. Come on, girls! Hey! Come on! Right, go! Up! Come on! Keep on! Come on! Come on, girls. As easy as that. Come on, move up a bit. Lovely. Right. I'm roasted. I'm really tired. But I am looking forward to taking the car on a racetrack this weekend, which is only in 2 days' time, so that's motivation. So when we first started coming to this farm, I don't know how many cows they were milking, to be totally honest, but we used to trim over there in that little corner there. This was the parlour, this was the collecting yard, and this span here was their only shed. Well, not their only shed, but it was the only shed that the milking cows were in. There's no denying it is a good shed. I actually love how light it is because of all of these skylights. But the people on this farm just wanted to do better and better for their cows. They wanted wider wider passageways and more cubicles and more light. So they've added this entire space. The parlour's up at the top, by the way. And they added this entire shed as well. So there's much more room for cows now. Look how good they look. Nice and clean. See how wide these passageways are? The cows are just standing here, by the way, because we're here today. Usually they would be lying down chewing the cud, as those ones up there are. So old shed, new shed, and then after that, this shed here was added, which again is bright and airy and has big wide passageways, which makes these girlies comfortable. Doesn't it, love? Again though, this isn't really a case of trying to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and make more and more money and more, have lavish holidays and incredible cars and all that kind of stuff. This is about longevity and making sure that the future generations of this family can continue to farm. And the good thing about it is, look how healthy their cows look because of it. Yes, you do. You look very healthy. These cows are fantastically happy and fantastically well kept. And I'm immensely proud of the fact that I'm part of that process. Anyway, back to the trimming. So this cow was actually in earlier on, and I never realised she was lame. And then when she left the crush, she clearly was lame. So she's back in now for us to hopefully have a look and see if we can find something. Normally I wouldn't want to miss something, but in this instance I kind of sort of want to have missed something so that I can help her. Give it a wash off. Okay, so now I know she's lame. This is obviously the problem. But at the time, I left that because it was just a little bit of broken horn and I didn't think she was lame. It was a controversial decision. I'm showing you something I missed. Should I show you that? I missed it, so let's be honest about it. Right. Like I say, I didn't realise she was lame until we let her out of the crush. So we just ran round about her and brought her back up in. There's nothing wrong with admitting you're wrong or you've missed something, as long as you're big enough, and in my case ugly enough, to admit that you've done a mistake or made a mistake and you rectify it. It's certainly bruised. I'm not sure if it's going to come to anything major. It's definitely a source of discomfort. I changed my approach by kneeling down. There's definitely some moisture in there. I don't know if there's a cavity or anything, but there's definitely moisture. You can see that just at the tip of my knife blade. There is the source of the issue. Very, very glad we brought her back in. Right, let's get a block on this before we go any further. So I'm just grabbing the grinder here to make sure that inner claw is perfect for a block to completely adhere to, while Craig dries off her foot entirely, loads her up with green glue and sticks it in place. And now that's in place, we can investigate this further. Work up the way a wee bit. Now that block's in place, she doesn't need this wall horn quite so much, because the block is taking all of her weight. We do need to be very careful here though, because we're very close to corium and we do not want to make a mistake. Just gently. Look how sharp those knives are. Lovely. Trying to decide how much further to go. You can see it weeping out there. Doing this, hold my breath again. I need to stop doing that, don't I? Just trying to remove these detached layers. You see, as the problem happens, the hoof horn doesn't keep growing at a consistent rate, and you end up with this detachment of the hoof horn, and we need to remove all of that, otherwise muck and everything just get in underneath. But we also need to allow that fluid to leave the area, because the fluid is what's causing the pressure and causing the pain as a result. Is it going to come much further down here? Right, I'm actually going to reduce this. Oh, look. It can seem so obvious, yet at the same time, you can miss it completely. So now we know this entire piece can come away. I was just about to reduce it with a... You're okay, lass. Stop. This entire piece can come away. I was going to reduce it with a grinder, but I'm just going to use a knife instead. This is going to go the entire way, isn't it? This hoof horn here is just so delicate, look. Just touching it with my pinky and no pressure at all, it's just flexing away from me. No wonder she was lame. I am so glad that we got her back in. So yes, I dropped the ball. I made a mistake and this cow was let go. But we ensured we brought her back in once we realised she was lame, and that problem seemed to be obvious once I knew that she did have a problem. We've removed this entire sole, and this little spot on the right hand side of her outer claw is where this whole problem emanated from. This is the root cause. She's banged the side wall of her foot against something hard that's become inflamed and completely detached her entire sole away from the rest of her foot. Now that we've got it all cleaned up, we douse it in iodine completely and Craig wraps the whole thing up. That block is going to carry all of her weight, so now she won't be in pain. As she leaves the crush here, I'm going to contradict myself. She clearly is still in pain, but over the next few days that block will become of great use to her, and the swelling and inflammation in that outer claw will subside because she's not using it anymore. Farms like this are generational. And looking after the cows is also generational. They look after the daughters, the mothers, the grandmothers, the great-great-grandmothers, and they strive to push forward to last in a rather turbulent economy where farms are concerned. I love seeing the transformation and the journey that farms like this go on. And now I'm getting a little bit older, I also like to see the transformation of the children who worked on these farms, who are now adults and beginning to take over from their fathers. I feel really old talking about that, I really do. But farms like this are doing everything they can to look after their cows. Please rest assured that that is true. And thank you for making it to the end of this video if you have.